morning, everybody. So I put a post out early this morning when I was I make Tiffany handwritten Valentine's Day cards every year with crayons, and I do little stick figures. So I got up at 4:30 this morning with Bella and got right to work and got the Valentine's. I just finished sparring, so I can't talk. I got the V card done, so pretty stoked about that. But in the process of making the Valentine's Day card, of course, my mind went and slipped back to systems and processes and business. And I remembered quite a few years ago now, coming up with the concept of the R4 method. Review. If you've been with me for a while, you understand it stands for reviews, referrals, rewards, and retention. And I was like, okay, God, there's got to be a way to systematize this whole thing and make it programmatic. And then it came up with this whole theory of like the sale happens after the sale, right? Like it really does. It's just when you think you sell your product and your service, that's when the sale begins, because that's when the relationship begins, and that's when the follow-up begins, and that's when you really start earning the trust of the client. And it got me thinking about the R4 method again, and how imperative and how important it is that and it doesn't matter what you sell. You could sell, car rims and tires, or you could sell chicken, or you could sell cannolis at the cannoli kitchen, you could sell roofs. It doesn't matter what it is that you sell, what your service is. Think about what happens after the sale. Think about what happens when you lose the sale. Think about what happens when you have the sit, when you have the meeting, the demo, the inspection, whatever it might be. What are you doing to launch that R4 method? How are you ensuring that you get reviews? How are you ensuring that you've done a good enough job to get referrals? Are you rewarding them for their behavior? Was their behavior for them to say yes to you? Do you reward them? Do you send them a card, a handwritten postcard, a note, a gift, giftology, right? And then how do you retain them? What's your retention process? How do you educate them and nurture them thereafter to let them know about services, new services, different things that you do? The R4 method, it's quite simple, because we all know that we need to be doing those 4 things. However, if we don't have it systematized, and it's not a programmatic methodology of setting it up each and every time, we're all missing the boat. I myself am missing the boat. I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm saying that, I'm not doing it. I need to. I got to make sure that I have something in place to make sure that this happens. Now, let's talk about the lost sale. I didn't get the sale, but you got the sit, and you started the relationship. Just because they didn't buy your service from you doesn't mean they don't like you and want to do business with you. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe somebody else was cheaper. But that doesn't stop you from having a continued relationship, because what if the thing that they bought from someone else sucks and you stayed in touch with them? You asked them for a review, and they gave you a real review, which allowed you to go back and fix whatever was broken on why they maybe didn't do business with you. Just because they didn't do business with you doesn't stop you from asking from a referral. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I appreciate the fact that you got the opportunity to sit down with me for an hour for me to explain the services that we do. It may not be benefiting you at this time, but do you know anybody in church, work, or school that might benefit from this X, Y, and Z? There's nothing stopping you from asking for a referral, even if they say no. Ask. You never know. They can say, you know what, Chris, you're right. The timing is not right for us to put this new floor in our home. But I know our neighbors were looking at it. Or there's people at church were thinking about putting a new floor in. Okay. Then how do you retain that person even if they don't buy from you? Subscribe to our monthly newsletter so we can update you on products and pricings and promotions that are coming out. How do you reward them? A simple handwritten note or postcard after the sit that goes out a day after you get back to the office from your admin. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it was so great to meet you, even though you've decided not to go forth. I just want to thank you for the time. It was a pleasure meeting you. Here's a $5 gift card to Starbucks. Next time you're sipping on a coffee, think about how awesome our meeting was. Like, I know this stuff seems so trivial and so simple, but think about your business and think about how you could get an R4 method going with it. Now imagine, multiply that by your sales reps and by your meetings. Could you imagine if you launched it each and every time after you met with somebody? You know, everybody sits here and complains about the cost of Facebook leads and clicks. But I'm telling you, if you built an R4 method in your business right now, those 4 things, would you be sitting back complaining about the cost of leads and clicks? I don't know. I heard that referrals and word of mouth are pretty important as branding and everything else that goes along. Think about it today. This is just my early morning thoughts of what goes on in my head before I go and get pounded in the ring or my sparring session. So anyway, have a great Valentine's Day. I hope you found this interesting and intriguing to go build an R4 method in your business. And if you need help on this, call me. I happen to know people in the industry that might be able to help you build this whole system and process out. Yeah. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye now.